Welcome to Austin and the City Limits. Tonight, I would like to share with you some thoughts based on, in part, a recent article that I read. Article was entitled, "All Apologies. I'm Sorry is More Than Just Words." So the article talks about apologies being part of life, part of the business. A successful apology contains an acknowledgement of and an expression of responsibility for a problem. But all too often we get those wrong. Professor Roy Lewinski from the Ohio Fisher College of Business taught that there were 6 components to any good apology. 1, an expression of regret. 2, an explanation of what went wrong. 3, an acknowledgement of responsibility. 4, a declaration of repentance. 5, an offer for repair. And 6, a request for forgiveness for the problem that was caused. The more components that were included in the actual apology, they found the more effective that apology was. The top components they found in their study of doing research, having people hear apologies and rate the apologies on their effectiveness, including 1 up to 6 of those separate components. They found the most important components seemed to be the acknowledgement of responsibility and an offer to repair any damage that was done through the offense. They also found that the language used in the apology was very key. In our society, where a lot of political doublespeak is done, meaning the politician or the individual might get up and say what they think the audience wants to hear in order to get applause, acceptance, or a vote from the people that are listening to them, when behind the scenes they have absolutely no intention of doing what they're saying in their speech. So because of these things being so prevalent in our society, the perception of integrity in the apology can be watered down significantly. There's also a kiss of death that was found. If the phrase, I'm sorry if anyone was offended by what I did or what I said, I'm so sorry. If that phrase is used, it definitely dilutes the benefit or the reality of the apology. It conveys an emptiness, an underhanded, cynical attitude in the apology, and it shows zero empathy and sympathy being conveyed in the actual apology. So ultimately, the empathy conveyed and the timing of the apology was also found to be very important. The closer to the offense that the apology was given, the more effective it is. This seems to make sense when you consider that if an offense happens and the offended party is given time to think about how offended they were and laments how offended they were over a period of time, that problem may become more and more ingrained in their heart and in their mind. And so they might be more reluctant to accept the apology when it's given a week or sometime later. So scripturally, being quick to go back to those you have offended and make your amends with them is very important. Rebuilding trust. So if a problem has ensued and you feel the need to apologize for it, it might also be possible that the trust that you had with yourself and the other person has been damaged. The apology is important because that violation of the trust in your relationship may cast a shadow of poor confidence in your relationship to the victim. They may question their judgment in accepting you as a friend or colleague. They may have uncertainty as to whether or not you may conduct yourself the same way again, or they may have tension in your relationship because they don't know how you're going to come across in the future. So the well-crafted apology, well thought out and honest and sincere apology can definitely help to restore your relationship, but one must also remember that the apology, while it reflects potentially favorably on the individual's character, the apology in and of itself may not be enough. That it may take a considerable amount of time for the healing process to be complete. The offended party may look for considerable, consistent action and behavior on the part of the offendee or offender towards the offendee in order to at length accept what they have done to make amends. So if you need to apologize, do so quickly, but don't do it just to say I'm sorry. Do it with a sincere heart, knowing in your own heart that you really are sorry for what you did, said, or what occurred, how someone else's life was affected by what you did. Do it quickly. And if you were the offended party, look for those things in the person approaching you and give them a chance to have made a mistake and to be trying to rectify the situation. If they don't offer to restore you somehow for whatever went wrong, ask them, have you thought if there's something that you could do to help to make this right for me? You know, acknowledging that they did something wrong may not seem like enough, and maybe they don't know how they can make it right for you. So sometimes offering an opportunity for them to make that amends might be helpful. So I don't have a topic for the next podcast, but I'll be sure to come up with one in the next day or two. If you have any thoughts, please leave them here. If you have any suggestions for a topic that you'd like me to cover or an article that I should talk about, I'm happy to take them. Until then, this is Austin Wilcox signing off from Austin in the City Limits. Thanks again and have a good evening.